So today we're going to be taking a look at the latest from Seagull 1963. It's actually a watch that's been out a while now in 38 millimeters, but they've just released a new 40 millimeter version of the Bronze Lume Edition. Now, this was given to the channel by Seagull 1963 and does not have to be returned, but like always, they have no say when it comes to the content of today's video. So let's get to it and take a look at the watch. All right. Now, the watch was sent to me by Seagull1963.com, who is the official distributor for Seagull and is based in Antwerp, Belgium. Lately, the company has been releasing watches with the classic Seagull look, but with different materials, finishes, and now even some models with lume like this. When I first saw these bronze versions, I was right away surprised how well it worked in bronze. Sometimes brands release bronze versions of their watches and it just doesn't translate well, but this goes really good with the classic Seagull design. It really ticks a lot of boxes if you're in the market for a bronze watch, especially a mechanical bronze chronograph at a relatively affordable price. So let's get in for a closer look at the dial here. And first of all, I think what makes the case material work, the bronze work so well, is how it goes against this dial color. Definitely a vintage vibe happening here, which makes sense as these are essentially a reissue of the 1960s watches that they had made originally for the Chinese Air Force. Under the red star logo, it reads 21 Zuen, which translates to 21 jewels. The text on the bottom of the dial translates to Made in China. I really like the font of the applied markers. Not sure if they're bronze or painted steel, but they look really nice. The lume is surprisingly good. We have lume on the hour and minute hands, and even though the lumed markers are small, they still are quite bright and long lasting. I'll get the chronograph going here, and this counts up to a total of 30 minutes. Over at the 3 o'clock is the minutes counter for the chronograph with the numerals at every 10 minutes, which really helps with getting the readout quickly. At the 9 is the running seconds, and all the hands other than the red chronograph second are painted blue. They're done very well, though, to the point I had to double check with Seagull. My contact there did mention there's a possibility of actual heat-treated hands in the future, though, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But let's stop and we'll reset the chronograph. Really nice feeling action. Nothing beats that snappy feel of a mechanical chronograph like this. And that's my favorite part of the watch, the movement, which is visible through the display case back, which is sapphire, by the way. The movement is the famous Seagull ST19 with the swan neck regulator, which helps with fine-tuning accuracy. For the cost of these, I don't think you could find a more beautiful movement. I did a little deeper dive on these a few years ago, but ended up purchasing the equipment that was used to make the Venus 175 column wheel chronograph, and it's my understanding that they still use that very same equipment to this day. But yeah, beautiful movement, 21 joules with a power reserve of approximately 42 hours. Another thing that I'm really liking with the watch is the strap. It looks to be almost a perfect match to me for the watch. It is a leather-backed canvas. Took a bit of breaking in, maybe an afternoon or so of wearing it, but now it's good to go. The buckle is stainless steel and signed with the star logo, and they match the case almost spot on, although maybe not so much as the case picks up patina over time. The case is clean and classic when it comes to the design. Good curvy lugs to keep it seated right on wrist. The crown is a signed push-pull crown. It's a nice size too, which you really want in a manual wind watch where you're interacting with it more than an automatic. I like the winding action. I wouldn't call it silky smooth, but feels good in hand still. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of right at 40 millimeters. The lug to lug is 50.4 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters, and the thickness is 14.8 millimeters, including the domed sapphire. So sapphire both front and back. I think the biggest negative for me with the watch is the water resistance, which is only 30 meters. And here it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. I've had the smaller versions in the past in steel, and it does wear a fair amount larger at this case size. For me, I'd probably go with this over the 38, but it's very close. Whatever your size preference is, it's a great watch, and it's cool that you can get an iconic watch like this at a decent price point, which is 459 euros, so approximately 490 USD. Now, they usually release these in small batches at seagull1963.com. If you find the model is sold out you're looking for, they do restocks, and I'm sure you could reach out directly to get a time frame on that. Link to their site will be below. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.